up, peeps, and welcome to a crazy pickup video. I think in the last one I said I was going to do them a little bit more often, so they'd be closer to half an hour instead of like an hour plus. Not sure how long this one's going to be. Obviously I'm just starting to film, but I have a ton of stuff to show you. You can already see some here. The reason that I waited a little bit longer to do this one is because I took my road trip with Cody, and then I had my cross-country trip with Abby. So didn't really have a lot of time in between there to film a video. So I have stuff to show you going back to before my road trip with Cody, and then all the stuff I picked up from then on. So we're just going to jump into it with the big stuff right off the bat. I got this Blockbuster gumball machine, as you can see. I did a video, or we showed that a lot in the vlog where I got it, so I'm not going to be getting close-ups or anything right now, but that is something new. I also got this awesome display box for Sonic Adventure DX. Just a little promotional item. And then I have I have 3 Super Nintendo consoles here that are all new bundles for me. First is a Model 2. This is the Junior, that's what they call it, but it comes bundled with Kirby Superstar, and it is a Target exclusive bundle. I only have one other Model 2 console in the collection, and it's just a standard one, no special game bundle or anything. So that's pretty cool to find that Kirby one. It is missing the styrofoam, which I didn't realize when I bought it because it was in a glass case at a store in Vegas, and I was just like, oh, I want to grab that one, and they just kind of like took it out and took it up to the counter. I didn't check it, which I should have, but that's not a huge deal. And then 2, actually I guess they're all kind of different. This is the Super NES control set, which comes with 1 controller, but this one is supposed to be bundled with the Super Game Boy and then the strategy guide for it. The guide is in the box, but I guess the way that this came originally, the Super Game Boy was separate. And I've heard some conflicting things, that it was just in its own separate box, the mini version of the box, or that it was like glued to the front here. There is a little bit of residue, so that might be what was happening with this one. But either way, the Super Game Boy accessory is not inside this box. And then lastly, for the big consoles, we have the Super Nintendo Killer Instinct set. So this is the biggest box version, bigger than the last one. And these ones typically come with 2 controllers. I'm not sure if this one does or not, but this comes with Killer Instinct and then the Killer Cuts soundtrack. The soundtrack in here is factory sealed, which is kind of cool. And I have a different Killer Instinct bundle. I'm looking right now, but it's in the box that is this size, and it only comes with 1 controller. So you can see, you know, one of the boxes is much taller. So the other Killer Instinct one is kind of like that, where it's just got like a sticker. This one obviously is the full, like the full thing is Killer Instinct branded. So very, very cool. Happy to get that. I'm up to, with those, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different Super Nintendos, different bundles, and then we have the Super Famicom, and then we have the Super Nintendo Classic, and then I have the Super Nintendo Classic in the refurbished box from Nintendo. Next up, we have this, which is Mario and Yoshi. These are RC cars, and these are Nintendo 64 era. So like, I think this was like, I thought I saw a date on there at some point. It was like 2000. But either way, super cool. I do have them in their own separate packaging, and I also have a Donkey Kong one that are right down here, I can see. But I had never seen them in a dual pack like this, so had to pick those up. I do have a couple other consoles, which I guess I'll show here at the beginning. I picked this one up for Abby when I was on my trip with Cody, and that is the Nintendog's Best Friends original Nintendo DS, and it is a special color teal, is what it says. But this comes bundled with the game. It also has this little like screen cleaner keychain kind of thing. A lot of these have broken hinges on the consoles because they're just super brittle. This one does not, but it's worn otherwise, so it's got good hinges, but the paint on the top of the console is like worn on the edges and stuff like that. And then also we added just the regular original teal 3DS to the collection. And what else do I have that's trying to get all the stuff that's not you know, not games. Usually try to save those for last. Alright, so I have this really cool Nintendo 64 like pencil case. It's got Metal Mario in there, Bowser in the background. Just thought that was pretty cool. I also picked up this Nintendo Comics System Game Boy, which I'm not 100% sure what this is. I'm assuming it came from like a Nintendo Power or something, but just thought that was kind of cool. And then I also picked up one Nintendo Power magazine. This is number 111. So I am going for the full set of Nintendo Power magazines as well. I have a list on my phone of the ones that I need, so whenever I find them, I just mark it off the list there. And I have everything from 1 to 105, I think. So I think number 106 is the oldest issue that I need. Most of what I need is between that N64 and GameCube era. I have all the ones before that, and then I have like all the later ones, just from different collections that we've purchased over the years. So this is number 111. It was the second oldest that I needed, so kind of cool. And then everything else is like an accessory or a game or something like that. So we're just going to jump in. I'm going to start with NES. Usually I save NES for later in the video because to me it's a little bit more special, but it's the closest one to me. So first is Adventure Quest 8-Bit Dungeons and Doom Nights. This is a newer release game, homebrew, whatever you want to call it. And this is the collector's edition, which comes with all of this stuff. This was traded in at the store, and Abby was like, I think this was traded in while we were out of town, and Abby was trying to figure out like, how do we display this? Because it comes with all the paperwork and everything. She's like, where do we put this? What do we do with this? And I was like, I don't know, let's just take it home. So that's what we did. For the rest of the NES stuff here, and I do have some pretty good ones, but we have Flintstones, Rescue of Dino and Hoppy. We also have Captain America and the Avengers. This one is just box only. We have Kiwi Craze, which is box and manual only. I actually found them separately on my trip with Abby. Found the box at one store by itself, and then found the manual later. We also have Section Z. We have Wizardry Master Series, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. This is the last Wizardry game we did not have. I believe we have the other two, so there's 3 of them on NES. This is the last one we didn't have, and it's got the plastic on it. It's just, you know, cut open at the top. You guys know how I like to get them. And then we also have Ren and Stimpy Show, Buckaroos. Another one with the plastic is Rampart. So when I say it's got the plastic on it, I'm not saying it's factory sealed. These are opened. They just have that original plastic still on them. They're just cut open at the top. Same with this one, Image Fight. I already had this game in my collection, but I was missing the manual, so it was just a cartridge in the box. And then I saw this one that was fully complete with the plastic in awesome condition, so I was like, this is a good way to get the manual. We'll just upgrade everything. We also have Trog. And then we have Black Box game Popeye. This is, I believe, one of the few remaining Black Box games I did not have. Stupid David Connell wrote his name on there, but other than that, it's pretty cool. Couple Aladdin Deck Enhancer games. We have Linus Spacehead's Comic Crusade and Quattro Adventure. And these are both like new in box, so the boxes have some wear and tear. They've been opened. I opened them to check, but the cartridges inside, they are sealed, so it's kind of like new open box, I guess. Got a cartridge that I needed for a box we already had, and that is the Gray Tengen Pac-Man. We got a huge stack of instruction manuals here for boxes that we already had in the collection. We were just missing, you know, manuals for, and picked these up on both of my trips and got very lucky to find so many, but I'm just going to list them off quickly. We have Kung Fu Heroes, Alpha Mission, Nintendo World Cup, RBI Baseball 2, Super Spike V-Ball, Yo-Noid, Xanac, Fisher-Price Perfect Fit, Master Chew and the Drunkard Who, that was one on my list that was kind of higher end, Silkworm, Solomon's Key, All-Pro Basketball, Cobra Triangle, Days of Thunder, and Top Players Tennis. So the last 3 NES games here are all on the more expensive side. So we have Ghost Lion, complete in box. Got this from Sam. When we purchased his collection, of course, he had some stuff that I wanted for my personal collection. And, you know, he's actually happy that I'm taking some stuff because he's my friend and he wants to, you know, help out my collecting journey just like I've helped his over the years. So he's always happy whenever I buy something from him that I actually want to keep. Same for this one, and that is Wayne's World, which if you guys are into collecting for the NES, this is a fairly uncommon, semi-rare, just cartridge-only game to get, so complete in box is pretty awesome to see. The last one just so happens to be an actual factory sealed game. I don't necessarily care about owning it factory sealed, but I don't have this game anyway, and picked this up from Pink Gorilla while I was on my trip with Cody. And so if I get a complete copy down the road, I will swap it out, because I'm just not super interested in having, you know, sealed retro games anymore. I'm perfectly happy with complete copies, and I collect complete in box only. Sealed is also complete, so the sealed one goes in my collection until I get a replacement, and that is for Terminator. So moving on to the Nintendo Wii, I only have 2 games. First one is Draw Some Games, Sketch Quest and Artist. Just a weird little double pack thing I'd never seen before. It's only like $3. And then also Rapala's Fishing Frenzy, which comes in a big box here with a little fishing rod attachment to hold your controller. This was, there's a sticker on here still, it was $25. I think I picked this up locally at Tappers, which is a game store in the Beaverton, Oregon area, so not too far. Just gonna get this sticker off real quick because I normally do that as I'm entering them into my spreadsheet, and I just didn't notice it there. So, PS2, I only have 3 games. First one, this was a trade or a gift from Cody up at Pink Gorilla, however you want to say it. He sent me this, and then I actually picked up a few Wall Street Kid manuals for him when I was on my road trip with Abby. He's collecting every copy of Wall Street Kid for the NES that he can get. So I found a few manuals, bought those for him, I shipped those to him, and he sent me a picture of this just because it was funny, and I was like, oh hey, I want that. So he sent it to me, and this is Jeopardy for PS2, but as you can see, it's a little messed up. And basically this is a misprint, so the entire artwork got shifted up about 3/4 of an inch, and it's cut misaligned. So you can see the top is cut off, the spine, the logo's cut off there. It's supposed to look like that. That's cut off, and then the back as well, and you have a white strip all across the bottom. These kind of things usually are not really worth a ton, especially for a game like Jeopardy, but I just think it's kind of cool. Misprints like this are pretty uncommon, pretty hard to find. I have a couple in the collection, and whenever I stumble across them, I will add them to our collection here. Next is SingStar Country, and this is in the big box with the microphones, also from Tappers, and also still has that sticker on there. This one was also $25, but this is another big box one that we just did not have. And when you're collecting full sets like we do, especially when you look at the older consoles, they didn't really have a lot of like collector's editions back in the day, but you do have stuff like this, which this is not a collector's edition. This is just how it came out originally with the microphones, because you need them to actually play the game. But I kind of look at them almost as if these are the collector's editions from that era, because with, you know, PS5, Xbox, Switch, even the previous generation, PS4, and even PS3, it's like every other game has a collector's edition. But once you go, you know, past that, once you get to like PS2 and older, there really aren't that many. So the big box stuff I kind of look at as the collector's edition type stuff. Lastly for PS2 is Warship Gunner 2. This is a fairly uncommon game. Saw this at my store actually, and I was like, oh, I definitely don't have this one. This is a game that I don't see very often, so had to add that to the collection. I wanted to, I'm going to show you guys N64 next, but before I do, I wanted to let you know that I just got done filming a video for the SicCooper channel here that is all about upgrading the condition of my Nintendo 64 collection from the collection I purchased from Sam. I assumed that video has already gone out before this pickup video does, so if you guys missed that, please check it out. If you enjoy my pickup videos, you're going to like that, because it's all about N64 collecting and upgrading condition on boxes, adding posters and registration cards and baggies. And it was filmed over a week-long period of going through Sam's stuff, comparing it to mine, updating my spreadsheet, physically comparing cartridges side by side and picking the best one. So it's a very collection-focused video. It's not, you know, it's not really about playing the games for that video, but if you missed that, please check it out. So technically, I upgraded condition on, I don't know, 100 games or so, and I added stuff to a lot of them. I'm not showing you guys those in this video because that other video is out there for you to go and watch, but I was able to add some other stuff, new stuff to my collection. So first up, I got another copy of Micro Machines 64 Turbo, and these come with little Micro Machines cars up here. This one is, I can't remember the actual name, but it's a zebra striped pickup truck basically. And there's a list that people have been keeping track of every factory sealed copy of this game that has been known to exist, so that we can keep track of which cars actually came in them, because you can't just put any car in the box here, because they didn't obviously come with an unlimited amount of cars. There's only specific ones, and I think there's around 10 or 15 that are known to have come with the N64 game. So whenever I see one that has a new car, as long as it's, you know, one from the list that actually came with it originally, I am adding them to the collection. So this makes number 3. Sam also had a box in his collection with no car, and I went on eBay and I found one of the cars that originally came with it that I did not have yet. So with this one and the one from Sam, I will have 4 different variants of this. Seems like a crazy thing to collect. Most people would think that that's really, really silly, but I enjoy that kind of stuff. So moving on, I have some gray cartridge variants and some not for resale games that I also got from Sam. These are ones I did not have in the collection already, and with the addition of these not for resale games, I have almost all of them for the N64, which is really, really cool. Obviously, I have a full North American set of the standard release games, but I am going after those not for resale games, the gray cartridge variants, and all the other variants and special bundles. So we have Rugrats in Paris, gray cart variant, Army Men Air Combat variant. I'm going to try to save the not for resales for after. Well, I guess those are the only 2 gray cart variants I got from him. So for the not for resales, we have Star Wars Rogue Squadron. So you can see it says not for resale right there, and then a lot of them have these stickers on the back as well. Some of them don't have the back stickers. Some of them don't even have the thing printed on the front. They only have a back sticker. But there's lots of information online you can go and check out if you want to know exactly which games came with, you know, which kind of versions, because a lot of times those stickers get ripped off because people think, oh, I can't resell this. So a lot of them get damaged like that. But next is 1080 Snowboarding. See, this one here, Mario Party, doesn't say not for resale anywhere on the front, but it does have the sticker on the back. And this isn't the kind of thing where someone just swapped the back. The Mario Party 1 doesn't say not for resale on it normally. This is exactly how it came as the kiosk version. Then we have Excite Bike 64, and that one does not have the back sticker. And you can see it hasn't been removed either because it would be all ripped up. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Pokemon Snap. So this is not the version that came with my Pokemon Snap station. There are 2 versions of this. This one says not for resale. This is the full version of the game. It's the one that would have been on a normal kiosk. But the one that I have in my Pokemon Snap station says demo only. So they're different, and that one's not the full game from what I understand. And then we have 3 kind of rare ones. We have Donkey Kong 64 with no printing on the front, but it does have that back sticker. Then we have 2 really rare ones. We have the Turok Rage Wars Gray Cart. So this technically is just another gray cart variant, but this happens to be one of the most expensive ones, if not the most expensive, because there is a bug in the original copy of Turok Rage Wars, which normally comes in a black cartridge. And back in the day, you could send your black cartridge to Acclaim. They would replace it with this gray one, which has the bug fixed. These are really, really hard to find and pretty rare, so happy to add that to the collection. And the last not for resale is the gray Donkey Kong 64, which is super, super rare. I was there with Sam when he bought this at PRGE, so it's kind of cool for it to come back into my collection. That is super awesome. And to go along with that, I also picked up the yellow Donkey Kong 64 controller glove, or sleeve, or cover, whatever you want to call it. There are 3 of these out there. There's this yellow Donkey Kong 64 one. There is a green one that has the Donkey Kong 64 logo, and then there's a black one that instead of Donkey Kong just has the Nintendo 64 logo. These were available through Nintendo Power only, and I think it's pretty cool. I now have all 3. I picked this up at Retro Rick's store in Arkansas. It was part of his stuff that he had set aside for his personal collection, but he was willing to sell it to me. So shout out to Retro Rick. I have a couple weird accessories here that I've kind of gotten into collecting. So this is a genuine Nintendo spare part, and this is the Game Boy Advance. It's like a headphone adapter, so you can plug in headphones, but then it plugs into the power port. Not exactly sure how they make that work, but this genuine Nintendo spare part thing is official from, basically from like a Nintendo authorized repair center back in the day. So I have a few other things down here in my little glass case here. I've got a Super Nintendo controller, an NES Dogbone controller, and then I think like a Super Nintendo N64 RF module. So I just love collecting these with this packaging because it's kind of cool. And then along with that, I also got the Game Boy Advance lens cover, and then it came with this little tool which you're supposed to use to remove the screen, I suppose. But super cool. I just picked those up off eBay. They were not too expensive. They were like 20 bucks each or so. Next, let's go with GameCube, because I don't have too much, but I did get a component cable in the original box. I have never seen, as far as I can remember, I've never seen a component cable, the North American version, with any sort of packaging. I would assume that they probably originally came in like a blister pack, not a cardboard box. So got the Japanese one here, which is pretty cool. If I happen to ever maybe find a North American one, maybe I'll sell the Japanese one, I'm not sure. I also replaced a game in my collection, and that is Midway Arcade Treasures 2. I had a factory sealed copy of this only, and so this one came into the store, and it came with, where is it? I put it somewhere, right here. It came with a registration card, and I brought this home. I wrote what game it was for. I brought this home to see if my copy needed it, and I realized my copy is factory sealed. So I took my sealed copy to the store, and I'm adding this one to my collection. So pretty awesome. And then I got, also from Retro Rick, I got the interactive multi-game demo disc version 26. I have a few of these in the collection that are different versions. These are kind of a fun little thing to collect. These are the demo discs that would originally have been in the kiosks that you could play at GameStop or Toys R Us or Walmart or wherever. I do have a kiosk, so I love collecting these as well. They're very hard to find and they're very expensive. This was like 150 bucks, I think, which for a demo, I know it's a lot, but I have the full North American set of GameCube games, so now I have to collect the other weird stuff, and the demo discs are a cool subset to go after. I really like collecting that kind of stuff. Let's move on to the 3DS. So I've kind of been making the joke, because I try to focus on one console at a time, sometimes two. So I've kind of been making the joke that I'm majoring in Super Nintendo right now, but my minor is in 3DS. So whenever we go out game hunting, I'm mostly looking for Super Nintendo, but I'll look at the 3DS as well, maybe pick up a couple, and that's what I did to get the majority of these. So we have Disney Magical World 2, Lego Batman 2, NASCAR Unleashed, Nikolai's Pencil Puzzle, Gem Smashers, The Hidden, The Crude's Prehistoric Party, Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido. This one is factory sealed, which I didn't know when I asked to get it at the game store, because it was in the glass case and I could just see the spine. It's very cheap though, so whatever. Putty Squad, Turtles, The Trash Pack. Lots of filler here, just games I didn't have. Hot Wheels World's Best Driver, Fossil Fighters Frontier. The reason I'm grabbing these filler titles too is because I am going for a complete set. I'm going for complete sets for all the consoles I collect for. I'm sure you guys know by now. But with 3DS, the prices are going up. but there's still a lot of games you can get for really cheap. The majority of these games were 10 bucks or less, so that's why I'm picking them up. FIFA 13, Blaze Blue Continuum Shift 2, and I drop them on the ground because they're getting stuck from sticker residue. Cars 2, Lego Ninjago Nindroids, Lego Friends, you can see like that one was 10 bucks, and the whatever store that was used bad price tags, they don't want to come off. James Noir's Hollywood Crimes, Moshi Monsters Moshling's Theme Park, Nicktoons MLB 3D, which is crazy, Real Fishing 3D Paradise, Snoopy's Grand Adventure, and Ace Combat Assault Horizon Legacy. So in no particular order, of course. We still need a lot of games to complete that set, but we are over halfway, so that's kind of why I decided to minor in 3DS. Let's move on to the PS1. I have just a small stack of games here. I got another one of these collector's editions, and this is the EA Racing Pack. So it's got 3 games in one little like cardboard slipcover. I love collecting this kind of stuff because, like I mentioned earlier, there aren't a lot of special editions or big box stuff for the PS1, so I think it's kind of cool that they did it like that. Next up we have Gunfighter Legend of Jesse James. This one I already had, I just upgraded the condition and I added the little poster thing to my copy, and that is Parappa the Rapper. And it's even got the original sticker on the top there. But if you guys don't know, this is the manual for the game. There are no pages, it's just that. But originally, it also comes with this little Nintendo Underground advertisement and a poster. So mine was missing these two, so that was a very nice upgrade to be able to add those, because since there isn't really an actual manual, you kind of want to have that other stuff in there to really make it complete. So nice upgrade on that one. Then we have Power Rangers Zeo Full Tilt Battle Pinball. Never seen this before. I loved Power Rangers when I was a kid, so I thought that was really cool. Then we have Midway's Greatest Arcade Hits, the Midway Collection 2. So you always see like Namco Museum Volume 3 and a couple of the other ones, but this one's kind of hard to find. Some of those Namco Museum collections are also really hard to find. I think 1 and 3 are the ones you see the most, so kind of cool. We also have Gold and Glory, The Road to El Dorado, which is an awesome movie if you have not seen that. And then we have kind of a rare one, Countdown Vampires. Picked this up actually in Hawaii. I don't know why I'm just getting around to showing it now, because that seems like it was a while ago. Let's go with Nintendo Switch next. And I have to carry this stuff all the way over here because there is a lot. But that's kind of how it is for all my pickup videos, right? It's just a bunch of Nintendo Switch games. And we're going to save Super Nintendo for last this time, because that is the console I'm focusing on. And I will tell you, there are so many Super Nintendo games. I picked up a ton on my trip with Cody. I picked up a handful on my trip back with Abby from Florida. And there's a ton of them, so I'm excited to show you guys those. But for the Nintendo Switch, I got 3 new sets of Joy-Cons. First one is both neon red, which I had never seen before. I didn't know that they released them together like that. So that one is pre-owned. These ones are newly released ones we got at the store, so we got one of each for ourselves. We have the pastel pink and yellow and the pastel purple and green, which are both really, really cool. I like those. And then for the big box stuff, we have Jack Jean. This is the bronze edition, is what they call this one. And then we have Space Invaders Forever Special Edition, Akiva's Trip Undead and Undressed Director's Cut, the Aladdin and Lion King Retro Edition, double pack there, Story of Seasons A Wonderful Life Premium Edition, comes with a little Ram plush, which is cute. Sonic Origins Plus. This isn't really a special edition, it just happens to come in like a bigger box for some reason. And then Final Vendetta Collector's Edition. So the regular games here, there's a lot, and I'm going to go through these kind of quick. There's a couple that I have been playing. Most of them, obviously, I have not had a chance to play. But we have Lost Words Beyond the Page. And some of them are like this, where they're a code in a box. This one was new, I believe, and Abby's been playing that one. Nuclear Blaze. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania, which definitely gonna have to play at some point. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Did not have that game in the collection for some reason, but I beat the Wii U version. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Shadows of Adam. Valis, the Phantasm Soldier Collection, and Dead by Daylight, which Abby loves that game. That's probably one of Abby's favorite games, but she plays the PC one. Ancestors Legacy. Boulder Dash Ultimate Collection. Hot Shot Racing. Fast and Furious Spy Racers Rise of Shifter. Opus Collection. Under Night in Birth EXE Late CL-R. Ridiculous names. Stern Pinball Arcade. This one is actually kind of hard to find, so I'm glad that I knocked this off the list, because I feel like Switch collecting is popular right now, but I feel like in the future there's going to be a lot of people that go after Switch, and there's a lot of special edition stuff, there's a lot of limited run type games, but this is one that I feel like doesn't fall into any of those categories, but it's already kind of expensive, even just for a complete opened copy. So this is one to definitely be on the lookout for. It might be pretty expensive in the future. Then we have Cat Quest. We had the double pack with Cat Quest 1 and 2, but we didn't have the single one, so had to add it to the collection, of course. Then we have The Walking Dead Final Season, Truck Racing Championship, All-Star Fruit Racing, which actually looks pretty cool, reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph, Slow Moto Racing Freedom, Root Letter Last Answer, Big Buck Hunter Arcade, Hover, 1971 Project Helios, SNK 40th Anniversary Collection, Batman Telltale Series, Escape Game Fort Boyard, Pure Pool, Super Street Racer, Disney Illusion Island. Have not played this one yet, but I definitely plan to. I think it looks awesome. Pikmin 4, this is the one that's currently in my Switch. I've already beaten this game, but there's some post-game content that I have not checked out yet, but I'm about to. Curse of the Sea Rats, Soul Cresta Dramatic Edition, Bramble the Mountain King, and Front Mission First Remake with that lenticular cover. Then we have Beholder 3, Postal Redo or Redux, Cozy Grove, Jack Jean, I showed you the special edition, here's the regular one, Just Die Already, Old People Mayhem Sandbox, definitely want to play that one, Gunbrick Reloaded, Alchemic Cutie, Stranded Sails, Explorers of the Cursed Island, Little Witch Nobeta, and Cuckoo's Lost Pets. Last stack here, The Sisters Party of the Year, Metal Max Xeno Reborn, NG, Descenders, which I love these like mountain bike games, stuff like that, so that might be pretty fun. Kentucky Route Zero, White Day, A Labyrinth Named School. Sorry about the glare, guys. I have a light right back there and then one over there, but it's right behind the camera. Agatha Christie, The ABC Murders, Adam's Venture Origins, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, and Empire of Sin, Port Royale 4, Big Rumble Boxing Creed Champions, Cosmic Coloring Book Complete Edition, Disney Tsum Tsum Festival, Dollhouse, Peaky Blinders Mastermind, The Escapist 2, I just dropped one, Fun Animal Park, some weird filler in here, Ember, and Strike 10-Pin Bowling. One I dropped is Harvest Moon Mad Dash. The last little stack here, Ghost Parade, Grip, Epic Chef, which looks kind of cool, Fault Milestone 1, Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break, Fruitfall Crush, Worms Rumble, love the Worms games, Instant Tennis, Ninjin Clash of Carrots, Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath Collection, Constructor Plus, Golf with Your Friends, and Impossible Mission. So those are all these Switch games. Let's move on to the original Nintendo DS. So we have Naruto Shippuden Ninja Destiny 2. We have Fab 5 Soccer. This is just one I'd never heard of. I don't think it's very expensive or anything, but you know, gotta be on the lookout for ones I've never heard of. We have Club Penguin Herbert's Revenge, but this one is bundled with a carrying case and it's all sealed together. I almost didn't keep this, but Ryan talked me into it because he said it was cool. This one was really funny. Ryan, this was like just some sort of filler game that came into the store, and Ryan was like, "Oh, Cooper, you need this one." It's called Fabulous Finds, and let me just read the back for you. Uncover hidden objects, find treasures throughout your house, then play fun mini games to sort and repair items to get the best price. Haggle with shoppers at the yard sale to get the most cash. What does each eclectic shopper want? Solve the riddles to help everyone find bargains at your sale. So you essentially find things in your house, you do little mini games, and then you have a yard sale and sell the items that you found. I mean, could that be any more of a Cooper game? We also have Diner Dash Flow on the go. We have Dinosaur King. And we have a sealed copy of Drone Tactics. Once I get a complete one, I'll replace it. So then we just have Game Boy stuff and Super Nintendo. I'm gonna start with Game Boy Advance. There is a lot of Game Boy stuff for some reason. I don't go out of my way to find it, it just finds me. So first up, I did get 3 more packs of e-reader cards that we did not have. So we have Tennis, Clue Clue Land, and Donkey Kong 3. Pretty cool. Couple instruction manuals we needed for boxes we already have. Tom and Jerry and the Magic Ring and Rugrats Castle Capers. Couple cartridges we needed for boxes we already had. Pokemon F-Zero Maximum Velocity, and then Pokemon Fire Red. You might be thinking like, that's a weird one to not have. So we have 2 versions of Fire Red. We have the Black Label version, which comes bundled with the wireless adapter, and then we have the Player's Choice version. One of them we already had the cartridge for because I have played it within the past couple years, but the other box is missing it, so just got that to finish that off. We have Sudoku Fever, which has the plastic on the box. Mega Man 04. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. Blackthorn. Golden Nugget Casino and Texas Hold'em Poker Double Pack. Driver 2 Advance. Hamtaro Ham Games. Lord of the Rings Return of the King. Pac-Man Collection. And I don't know if it's Pinobi or Pinobi Wings of Adventure. And then the last 2 are kind of rare ones. We have Saber Wolf, which I picked up at Pinkarilla. And then the last one, I'm missing an instruction manual, which kind of sucks, and we didn't realize that until after we'd already gotten it, basically. I'll explain here in a second, but that is Urban Yeti. If you guys don't know about this game, it is absolutely ridiculous, and it's very, very rare. So we got the cartridge traded in at the store because it was part of this giant Game Boy collection that we had purchased, and Abby was like, "Man, that's a pretty rare game. I'm gonna see if there's a box and manual for it on eBay." And this is when I was on my trip with Cody, and Abby bought a box and manual off of eBay. And then she told me about that, and I was like, well, there's no manual here, you just bought the box. There was a precautions booklet, but there was no instruction manual. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't realize that, that kind of sucks." And I was like, "Oh, don't worry, we have a manual and a poster at home." And she's like, "Oh, cool." So we were both happy, we thought that we had it complete, and even with the poster now that I guess she didn't realize came with it. And so we got the cartridge at the store, got the box off eBay, we had the manual and poster here at home, right? No. Turns out we only had the poster. So we are still missing the instruction manual. I was just misremembering, thinking that we had both, but I knew that the game was rare, so when I found the poster, I was like, I'm gonna hold on to this. Lucky that I did, but we still need a manual. So if you have a manual for that, please put it in the comments down below. Let me know. I would love to work out a deal and purchase that from you. Let's go to Game Boy Color. One instruction manual we needed was Nicktoons Racing. And then for games, we have Conker's Pocket Tales. Cool one to get. NASCAR Challenge. This is another cool one because this is in a bigger box because this is one of the Rumble games. So it takes a AAA battery there and it actually has a Rumble feature. Because of that, the game is bigger than normal. It comes in an extra wide box. You can compare it to the Conker one there. It's a little bit bigger. We also have another Rumble one, and that is Test Drive Off-Road 3. The only problem with this one is it's got a giant rip on the side of the box. And then we have Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 Terra's Adventure. Pretty hard to find one. These are in no particular order. Space Invaders. Midway Arcade Hits Joust and Defender. Diva Stars Mall Mania. Very rare. Actually, we are ending on probably the rarest one, and that is Little Nicky. If you guys have seen the Adam Sandler movie Little Nicky, where I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but he plays like a devil or like a demon or something. Very, very weird game to have very weird movie to have had a game made after it, but this game is actually pretty rare. The cartridge is not very expensive, still very hard to find, but the complete in-box version is very, very rare. I got this one in Hawaii too, which was really cool to find that there. I was not expecting to find, you know, such a rare game in Hawaii. Now we're gonna go with original Game Boy, and then we're going to finish off with Super Nintendo. But I will say, some of these Game Boy games are incredibly rare, and people always tell me, oh, you're never gonna complete the original Game Boy collection anyway. Too many of the games are super rare. Well, I got 3 of them here. So don't count me out for original Game Boy. We'll probably finish the set at some point. So first up, we have, and I have the actual item coming in the mail from eBay because I've just never seen one. So I was like, I'm never gonna find one. I just had to order one off eBay, but I got the box for the Game Boy Pocket AC adapter. So I have the actual AC adapter coming in the mail. Like I said, it was only like 15 bucks, not too bad. And then for games, I'm going to try to save the best for last. So we have Olympic Summer Games, Side Pocket, Motocross Maniacs. This one is the Smurfs, and this is the Player's Choice version. The box, or the plastic has a huge rip right here, but technically it's never been opened. This is a factory sealed copy, but it does have that gigantic rip. Because of that, at the store that I got it from, it was priced as a complete copy, so it was a fairly good price. We have, skipping the really rare ones, we have Bubble Bobble, which is also not super easy to find. Same with this one, Battletoads in Ragnarok's World. There's some really good ones in here. Arcade Classics 2, Centipede and Millipede. Jurassic Park. Spanky's Quest. And now we're getting to some rare stuff. So we have the Sword of Hope. We have Harvest Moon GB, or Harvest Moon Game Boy, however you want to say it. Tailgater. And this one was kind of cool. It's Bubsy 2, but I got the box and manual from Cody at Pinkarilla, and then I got the cartridge separately from one of the game stores we stopped at, so that is a complete one now. Pretty hard to find. Before I show you the last 3, I did get some manuals I needed as well. Kicks, Solar Striker, Golf, Super Mario Land, I guess I didn't have for some reason, and Tennis. And then the last 3, we have, they're in these weird acrylic cases, but we have mint, completely mint, complete copy of Mega Man 4 for the Game Boy. If you guys don't know, this is like $1,000 game. We also have, same condition, complete and mint, Mega Man 5, which is one of the hardest Game Boy games to find. If you guys don't know, this is like $1,400-1,500 bucks, something crazy. And it's about the same price as this last one, which is Sumo Fighter. So this one is also pretty mint, aside from this rip. I don't know how that happened because the rest of the box and the contents inside are like perfect. The box, other than that rip, is mint. There's no little crease, there's no cornerware, there's nothing except for that, which kind of sucks. But that is a very, very rare game, also about 1,500. According to price charting, sometimes these games don't sell very often, so the price charting data is completely inaccurate. This could be a lot more. I'm not sure. I don't really have a reason to look into it because I'm not selling it, but a couple very, very rare Game Boy games knocked off the list. So for all the people that are saying that I'll never complete the original Game Boy collection because some of the games are super rare, well, I just got a good handful of them right there. So like I said, don't count me out for the original Game Boy set. Eventually it'll be the set that I'm focusing on, and I'm sure we'll complete it. So lastly is Super Nintendo, and my stuff is getting piled up here. I need some room so I can be closer to the camera like this and not way back here. So give me 1 second, I'm gonna clear some room and we'll continue. So I'm going to start with the instruction manuals that we picked up. Once again, we got a bunch of them, which is very nice to complete some of the stuff that we had boxes for already. First is Jungle Book. We have Mech Warrior, World Cup USA 94, Super Solitaire, D-Force, WWF Super WrestleMania, Brain Lord with the little poster map thing, which I was happy to get, FIFA Soccer 96, and Shaq Fu. And then we also got a couple for display only boxes, which as far as I can tell have never been put together, so they're still flattened, and that is for Vegas Stakes. It says for display only on the front there, and then also Stunt Race FX. The reason that I think these have not been put together is because typically when you put together a box and then you open it, you create a little crease right here on this little flap when you go to open it, and none of them have those creases, and when I bought them they were flattened like this. So I believe that they have never been actually like molded into actual boxes. I think they've been flat like this since they were produced, which is pretty cool, and I'm going to try to keep them that way as well. I also picked up a mouse pad for Mario Paint. We have two versions of the game complete in box. We have the regular one and we have the Player's Choice one, and the Player's Choice one was missing that and also the styrofoam insert, which is going to be extremely hard to replace, but I at least got that. So moving on to the games here. Some of these are going to be missing manuals. I'm not going to be able to remember which ones. Most of them are complete, I will say that. Some of them might be missing a cartridge here or there, some of them might be box only, I don't know. I did pull out a couple of those expensive ones to save for last, but other than those, they're not really going to be in any particular order, and I might show some kind of rare ones mixed in. So here we go. I will say with the addition of these to the collection, we have about 155 left for the full set. That is still a ton, but before my trip with Cody, we were at like 195, so we've gotten quite a few. So here we go. Strike Gunner SGT, or STG, sorry. Emmett Smith Football. Axelay, or Axlay, I'm still not sure exactly how you're supposed to say it. Mohawk and Headphone Jack. College Football USA 97. Madden NFL 98, which if you guys don't know is kind of hard to find. So kind of cool. Kid Clown in Crazy Chase. This one I can feel does not have a cartridge. Super Buster Bros. Excalibur 2097. Fatal Fury. Super Alfred Chicken. WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game. The Rocketeer. No cartridge on that one, I can feel it. Super Bases Loaded 2. James Bond Jr. The Great Circus Mystery starring Mickey and Minnie. Pieces. Hook. Mech Warrior 3050. This is a cool one to find. Super Widget. There's also a widget game on NES, which is pretty rare. Do not have that one yet. T2 Judgment Day. So this one was a little confusing for me on my list because there are two Terminator 2 games for the Super Nintendo. So I had to really pay attention and make sure that I wasn't buying a duplicate. But there are two different Terminator 2 games, which is kind of weird. Then we have Super Ninja Boy. Maybe no, it's missing something. No cartridge, no cardboard insert, I think. Lester the Unlikely. I do know that this one does not have a manual, I remember. This was a very nice condition upgrade for Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City. I got one that was like severely water damaged, like really, really bad. So this is a very nice upgrade. And I think that maybe I needed a manual as well. So I got an upgrade plus the manual. It's hard to remember, but something like that. We have Barbie Supermodel. This one is not in a box protector, so it's all ugly, but there's no cartridge. Gym Power in Lost Dimension 3D. Uniracers. This one is no cartridge either. This is a game that like everyone seems to love, but I tried it out and I was like, meh. So I don't know, what am I missing? Super Valis 4. This one is box only and it's pretty rough, but it was really cheap and I didn't have it, so I couldn't pass it up. The Legend of the Mystical Ninja, also box only. Ultimate Fighter, no cartridge on that one at least. Oh, here's a couple more manuals that were stuck in. Mario's Time Machine, and unfortunately, it's really, really rough, but I've never seen another manual out there in person. I'm trying not to buy them off eBay. But Super Adventure Island 2, it's pretty rough. You can see like all the creasing and everything, but I at least have it complete now. We have Biometal, Rocko's Modern Life. Used to love watching that cartoon back in the day. Dirt Tracks FX. The Death and Return of Superman. Midway presents Arcade's Greatest Hits, the Atari Collection 1. World Heroes 2. Best of the Best Karate, Championship Karate. And then, this is kind of a weird one, but it's Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, and it's a bundle that's supposed to come with an encyclopedia. I already have the regular version of the game, which looks like this. So I have one of these on the shelf, but we saw this at one of the game stores when I was on my trip with Cody, and he's like, man, you gotta get that. It's missing the encyclopedia, but after people in the comments were saying that it's just a regular encyclopedia, I was like, oh, well, let me look. And so I went on eBay, and I found one for like $8 shipped. So I have the encyclopedia coming for that, and that will complete this big box, which is kind of cool. I'd never seen it before that, didn't even know it existed. Then we have Rocky Rodent, another one of those little like animal mascot type platformers, which I have not played, but there's a few of those on Super Nintendo, and those are ones I'd like to knock off the list before something like Ultimate Fighter or College Football 97. So kind of cool to find that. Adventures of Mighty Max. Eek the Cat. It's another one, kind of like Rocky Rodent. Super Conflict. F1 Rock 2 Race of Champions. Very rare NBA Live 95. Just kidding, this game's not rare. It's just one I didn't have. Demolition Man. Rampart. Ranma 1/2 Hard Battle. Got the game on the GBA, also got it on Super Nintendo. Blackthorn. This one is a factory sealed copy of Spin Dizzy Worlds, and I've told you guys many times, even in this video, that I'm not really going for factory sealed games, but this was on my list of games I didn't have, and when I found it, it was barely more expensive than a complete copy, so I decided to go for it. I'll replace it down the road whenever I can. Not a big deal, not a game I'm dying to play, so it can stay sealed, it's fine. Barkley Shut Up and Jam. PGA European Tour. Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety. Ah, Real Monsters. Very happy to get that one. Like I mentioned, there's a few games on my list that I need that are cooler than other ones, so there's some that I'd rather find sooner than later. Ah, Real Monsters, Separation Anxiety, Rocky Rodent. I'd rather find those before PGA European Tour, Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, F1 Rock 2. So, moving on, we have Carrier Aces, Fatal Fury 2, and, not related, but similar sounding name, Final Fight 2. So I believe that I have every Fatal Fury game now for the Super Nintendo, and the only Final Fight game that I'm missing is, of course, Final Fight Guy, which is crazy rare. Cool Spot. Here's a game that I've actually beaten, Congo's Caper. It's a kind of a fun little platformer. I beat it on the Switch Online, so There's no way I could ever have beaten this game without the rewind feature, but it was enjoyable. Bram Stoker's Dracula. King Arthur's World. GP1. It's kind of weird to me that Atlas made a bunch of like racing games back in the day, because they're mostly known for doing like RPGs and stuff, but they also made like some horse games. I don't know, it's kind of weird. And then Top Gear. And now we're getting into what I would consider the more rare stuff. So we have Home Improvement, which is another weird show to make a video game off of, but they did one. And this one's fairly uncommon, pretty rare. We also have the Peacekeepers. This box unfortunately has a crease right across it, right there. You can see it's pretty bad, but other than that, the box isn't horrible, but I'd like to replace that in the future. We also have Mega Man Soccer. This is the last Mega Man game that I did not have, although I'm missing a manual for my copy of X3, which kind of sucks. But Mega Man Soccer, I was very happy to find this. I believe it was at one of the last game stores on my trip with Abby. So that was really cool to find. Then we have Ninja Warriors. There's a little rip right here. Other than that, it's pretty good. But this one is another weird situation where this is only box and cartridge, and I know that I have a manual for this, but I cannot find it. And I had all of my extra manuals and stuff in a drawer, and all the other ones were still there, as far as I can tell, but I could not find the manual for this. I'm 100% positive that I had it, and I know I didn't take it to the store and sell it because there's no listing for it in our inventory, so I never did that. And I don't know where I would have put it here other than with the other manuals. So as of right now, there's no manual in here, but I know I have one. I just have to find it, and that's really frustrating. Last two here, Captain Commando, which if you guys are familiar with Super Nintendo collecting, this is a pretty rare game. This one also does not have a manual, but I knew that when I bought this one. I got this on my road trip with Cody from a game store called Gamers Asylum. The reason I bought it is because they had it normally priced at $800, but they had it marked down to $500 because it was missing the manual. $500 for this missing the manual is a very, very good price. When I bought it, complete on price charting said it was about $950, and manuals had been selling for about $300. So if I paid $500 and I have to pay $300 for a manual, that puts me at $800 for a $950 game. But then, a few days later, when I looked again on price charting, it was up to $1,400 for a complete copy, and I think I've checked again later and it was down to like $1,100. So it fluctuates, of course, you know, whatever, if a new one sells, it's going to affect the price because it doesn't sell that often, so every sale will affect the price. But either way, $500 for this I think is an absolute steal. Hopefully I can find a manual for under $300, but if I have to pay $300, I think that's still fine, and in the end, I'll have a pretty good copy for a decent price. But in terms of rarity, nothing I have shown you guys in this video compares to this final game that I have here for the Super Nintendo. This is so excluding like weird one-of-a-kind items in my collection, this is probably the rarest game in my entire collection. More rare than Complete in Box Sculptor's Cut, more rare than Complete Little Samson, more rare than anything like that. And that is Zombies Ate My Neighbors, but it's a little different. This is a cover variant. Let me grab the other one real quick just so I can show you guys, because a lot of you who recognize it are like, oh yeah, that's way different. This is the normal cover, and this is the one that I have here. Completely different. Even the back of the boxes are different. They have looks like they have a couple of the same screenshots, but not all of them. And then even like different logos and stuff. So regular copy of the game, maybe 100, 200 bucks, something like that. Box variant here, which as far as I can tell, no one really knows exactly where this came from. Nobody really knows the story about it, and I haven't done a ton of research, so I could be wrong on that, but from my understanding, there's there's like 10 of these out there or something like that. I'm not really sure exactly how many, but I will say this copy, and I'm going to open it so I can show you guys. This copy is absolutely mint. Like, for a Super Nintendo box, which is pretty old, it'd be hard to find one that's in better condition than this, right? There's like a couple, I guess it's not mint, but it's in really nice shape. There's a couple little like dings, but overall, it's not crushed, it's not creased at all. It's in really nice condition. And so obviously I'm super happy with it for that reason. The inside is the same as a regular copy of the game. So it's got that logo and everything on the manual. It's only the box that is different, but it's incredibly, incredibly rare. And I'll tell you the story about how I got this because I feel like I got really, really lucky. So I am part of a secret Facebook group that is only for brick and mortar video game store owners. And it's mostly a group that is used for people to kind of ask questions, get some general help, you know, compare different store things. It's usually not a place where people are buying or selling stuff, but every now and then somebody will post something, and that was something that got posted in there, and the person that was selling it was basically like, hey, we got this thing traded in at our store. I'm not really sure what to do with it because they apparently have trouble selling any high-end stuff. They must be in like a small town or something, so they don't have luck selling really expensive and rare items. So they were like, does anyone here have any ideas of what I should do with it, or is anyone here interested? And I was like, yes, I am 100% interested. Let's make a deal, I will take it. And I was messaging with them and they gave me a price, or I think I made an offer, I can't remember. But either way, they were like, hey, there's a couple other people who are interested in this, so did you want it? Did you want it or not? Like for whatever price it was, whether I made the offer or they gave me a price, I can't remember. But they were like, there's other people now that want it. You have first dibs, do you want it? I said yes. It was very expensive. It's not the most I've ever spent on a game, luckily. But it's in like the top 4 for sure. So I'm not really sure what the actual value is. I only know of one other person who even owned one. And I'm not sure if they still have it or not, but for it to be in this condition, I'm super, super happy. And I'll just let you guys know, it was $2,500 shipped. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to spend on a game, but that's less than what I spent on Little Samson, and this is way more rare than Little Samson. So in the end, I'm happy, especially because of the condition. Like I said, there's so few of them out there. I don't know if you'd ever find one in better shape than that. So I don't know. It's really hard to know, but I feel like I got a decent price, and I'm very happy to have it in the collection. And it just so happened to pop up while I'm working on the Super Nintendo set. I don't count that as being part of the actual set, because you could just get this one and have the game, obviously, for a fraction of the price. But it is a really, really cool variant, and it's very, very rare. And for anyone that's a hardcore video game collector, we like rare stuff. You know, we like to have rare pieces in our collection, stuff that most other people don't have, stuff like that. So I think it's really, really cool, and I'm glad that I get to share it with you guys, show it to you. And then hopefully somebody watching knows a little bit more information about it that could put it in the comments down below, because I know that I would like to know more about it, but I'm sure some of you guys watching would as well. So if you do know something, please put it in the comments. And if you don't know but you would like to, go check those comments and see if there's something there. If someone does have some good info on it, I'll try to pin that comment so so you can go down and check it out. But I'm super, super happy to have that. It's really, really cool. And that is it for this pickup video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. For the keyword for this one, if you leave the word gear from Top Gear, leave the word gear in your comment. That'll tell me that you watched all the way through to the end. Don't cheat. If you skipped ahead, don't put gear in there. But if you did, that'll tell me that you watched the entire video. And thank you guys if you did. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.